Hello, my name is Aline Rodriguez, and I will be going over my project. And I actually did a brochure. This is how it looks. That's back, front. I did it over the stigma of mental health. And here on the first step, I will be talking about what is stigma and what influences stigma. So what is stigma? So stigma is a negative social attitude attached to a person or a group, and also often place shame on them for a perceived difference to their existence. When someone negatively sees you because of your mental state, it worsens the problem by making them want to stop getting the help they need. The stigma happens when people only see the illness before seeing them as an individual. So you can see them for the illness versus seeing them for the person who they really are. And I feel like that's what that pretty much says. And I have another definition right here. It says individuals or groups can apply stigma to those who live a certain way, have certain cultural beliefs, or make lifestyle choices. To people living with health conditions such as mental illness. And then down here I added a diagram that says decrease stigma by, and then here are 6 ways you can decrease stigma. One says education, so educating others or yourself as well. Media, sometimes people put out things that aren't correct, I would like to say, about stigma. So maybe not looking at the media and going based off what they say if it's not true. Okay, language, maybe talking about stigma with others and then really having a great understanding about it. Talking openly, that kind of just talking with others basically. Support and treatment. Treatment is very important for stigma, and support just from your family and friends, and just knowing that you have that. And personal role, yourself. In the middle we have here, what are some recent studies about stigma in media health, different treatment methods. And then we have a chart. I'll explain it later right now. And then down here we have what are some strategies to reduce stigma in mental health. Okay, so for the first one I read, it said, what are some recent studies about stigma in mental health? Some recent studies I found was in 2017, studies involved more than 200 individuals with mental health. For 2 years, found the greater self-stigma was associated with the more recoveries from mental illness after 1 to 2 years. Different treatment methods would be cognitive therapy, scheduled activities, patients, just enjoying yourself. Long walks would be an example. Meditating would be another example. And then you have behavioral therapy. It's negative patterns of thoughts about the self or challenge journaling. You have self-talk. Next, I will be talking about what influences stigma. And what factors influence stigma would be blame, stereotypes of dangerousness, knowledge about mental substance use disorder, race, ethnicity, and culture, media portrayals. Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about the little diagram. And right here it says causes of stigma according to patients. And right here we start off with inappropriate behaviors, 32%. We have inability to work, 28%. Black magic, 14%. Long-term illness, 8%. And then you have lack of knowledge, 18%. And following that, we have what are some strategies to reduce stigma in mental health. And we have 9 ways I put down, which is talk openly about mental health. Like I said, conversations, maybe that would help. Like I said, educating yourself and others. Going back to my first diagram, I did say education. So educating yourself and others can help reduce stigma of mental health. Be conscious of language. Encourage equality between physical and mental illness. Show compassion. Choose empowerment over shame. And be honest about treatment. So don't hide the fact that you get treatment. I feel like if anything, just be open and don't feel like it's something you need to hide. And right here we have a little head. Let's do it that way. And in the brain we have, or in the head, it says 1 in 4 are affected by mental health. So it's just like little quotes, I guess, or little. It says 1 in 30 experience PTSD. 8.6 million adults have suicidal thoughts. And then we have children with anxiety disorders least likely to receive treatment. People of color are less have less access to care. And following that, I put down relations to abnormal psychology. And the stigma with mental health is that people have the wrong idea about specific mental illness. The consequences of stigma are that it has individuals avoiding getting the help, and they just isolate themselves and don't want to take their medication. And the following question I have here is how many, if any, go without treatment? And what are some tips, if any? Number 1 would be know the facts. Educate yourself about mental illness, including substance and disorders. And then the following that would be number 2, be aware of your attitude and behaviors. Examine yourself, your judgment, thinking before bringing up your conversations with people and with society. Number 3 would be choose your words carefully. So following number 2, kind of, the way we speak can affect others. Number 4, educate others, pass on facts if you know any, and positive thoughts and attitude. Challenge myths and stereotypes. So not everything you hear will be true. So challenge them. Look up your own research if you have to, and I would recommend it. Focus on positive mental illness. Focus on the positive. Mental illness includes addiction is only a part of anyone's large picture. Support people. Treat everyone with dignity and respect. And offer the support as well and engage with them. Include everyone. It's against the law to deny jobs or services to anyone with mental illness. So that's pretty good. And on the back of the pamphlet, lastly, we have what are examples of stigma? What does mental health stigma affect the most? So we have struggle stigma. Despite tangible barriers created for people who have mental illness, we have the stereotype, prejudgment, discrimination, social cognitive process of recognition something is different about people. Examples of the stigmas, the following are mental disorders, mad, crazy, living examples of the weakness of humankind. People with mental illness were criminals and put to death. Who does mental health stigma affect the most? It affects nearly 9 out of 10 people with mental illness or mental health. It affects 9 out of 10 people with mental health problems. Say that stigma is discrimination harm their lives. Many people's problems are made worse by the stigma and discrimination they experience from society, families, friends, employers. More than 50% of U.S. adults will need mental health treatment at some point during their lifetime. And then we have that followed by the references I use for this project. And just one more time, we have the Stigma of Mental Health. And this is how it looks. And the back with the questions and the references. Thank you.